Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Ninja World. I have a life simulator. Chapter 1. It's over. Barbecue. A boy, lying on the branch of a tree with a dog's tail grass in his mouth, let out a long sigh. Uchiha Akira, this is the name of the soul after coming to this world. As you can see from the name, you have traveled to the world of ninjas. At first, I was quite happy. After all, the Uchiha family can be said to be the most well-deserved family in the ninja world, and the Sharingan runs through the entire plot of the original book. It's just that when Uchiha Akira fantasized about opening Sharingan, or even Mangekyo, Rinnegan, how to smash the ninja world, the reality gave him a slap in the face. Because he was judged to have no ninja talent. As the Uchiha clan, the grandson of the great elder's family, his status is still good. You can get the resources you want. However, the talent is not good, and there is no cheat, how to survive the night of genocide a year later. It's been 6 years since I came to this world, and I have some understanding of all aspects of this world's timeline. Today's Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Shisui are considered Uchiha's twin pride and are famous for Konoha village. However, according to the development of the original story, 1 year later, it will be the night of the genocide. At that time, I have the halo of the identity of the great elder and grandson, so I will die faster, right? Call out. Just when Uchiha Akira was worrying about how he could get through the night of the genocide a year later, a vigorous figure jumped directly onto the branch and stood firmly beside him. It was an equally handsome boy who looked about the same age as Uchiha Akira. Ming, do you want to go shopping on the street? My father gave me money today, 200 taels. The boy smiled and showed his 100 taels. Zuzi, you are the second young master of the Uchiha patriarch's family. You only have 200 taels of money. How happy are you? Seeing the excited expression of the boy in front of him, Uchiha Akira pouted. That's right, the handsome-looking boy in front of him is the second male in the original book, Uchiha Sasuke. The child of Patriarch Sasuke's family, he is also the grandson of the elder Uchiha, and the age is similar, so naturally, they have become friends. It's just that I am a supporting role, and I have worked hard to climb a tree. Looking at Uchiha Sasuke, he jumped up directly. This talent is really incomparable. As expected of the second male in the original book, Indra is reincarnated. My parents used to say that I was too young, and my family had everything I wanted, so I never touched money. Now I finally have my own money, of course I'm happy. To Uchiha Akira's contempt, Uchiha Sasuke replied rightly. Having said that, Sasuke's face showed another look of surprise. Ming, could it be that you already have your own money? This sentence makes Ming a little embarrassed. He was also just 6 years old, his grandfather was a great elder, his parents had both died, and he was still being served by a maid beside him, and there was no place to spend money. Of course, I have never touched money. By the way, why did your father give you money for no reason? Uchiha Akira changed the subject, not wanting to entangle himself in his embarrassing place. Oh, it's because I've learned the great fireball technique, so my father was so happy that he rewarded me with 200 taels so I could buy snacks. Sasuke said happily, unaware of Uchiha Akira's change of subject. There are happy things, happy to share with friends. It's just that this made Uchiha Akira even more embarrassed. They are all the same age, and I haven't even refined the first strand of chakra, let alone practice ninjutsu. However, Sasuke has already learned the great fireball. This is really more dead than people. Ming, I have 200 taels here, let's have half of each of us, hurry up and go shopping. I don't know what 100 taels can buy, but for the first time in his life, Sasuke is very happy with the money he can control. At the same time, he generously took out 100 taels and sent them to Uchiha Akira. The voice fell, and he jumped off the 3-meter-high branch, and landed steadily. Seeing that Sasuke divided himself in half, he was still a little moved. Uchiha Akira sat up from the tree trunk and slowly climbed down the tree. Have 100 taels of money, can consume 100 taels, start the first life simulation, do you want to do it? Weather. However, just as Uchiha Akira was slowly climbing down the tree, suddenly, a line of translucent fonts appeared in front of Uchiha Akira's eyes. With a tight heart, Uchiha Akira slipped and fell directly from the tree. A tree more than 2 meters high fell, and he couldn't help screaming in pain. It happened that there was a stone under the tree, and the leg was pressed on the stone, and it was directly red and swollen. Ming, are you all right? Sasuke next to him saw Zhuang and hurried over, looking worried. It's okay, I'm fine. Although the leg was red and swollen, it was impossible to recover in 10 days and a half, but at this moment, Uchiha Akira's mind was not on his own injury, but on the situation in front of him. On a line. Sasuke, can you see what's in front of me? Uchiha Akira asked, resisting the pain and even the excitement. In front of you. There's nothing in front of you. Did you fall dizzy, and there are gold stars popping up in front of you? Sasuke asked strangely. Well, this answer can be sure that only you can see the words in front of you. So, is this my cheat? Come here, there are still some cheats necessary for transmigrators. Can I change my life by heaven defying and let me live through the night of annihilation in a year? It depends on whether this cheat is strong or not. However, you have to spend money to use it. Are you sure this cheat was not developed by the old horse? How can there be a sense of sight that makes me happy as a member? I knew that my cheat was going to cost money. Why didn't I get the money earlier? Sure enough, the identity of the great elder and grandson limits my development. My heart is excited again, and I secretly spit it out. Anyway, of course, I have to try this cheat to see what's going on. Therefore, looking at the two options of yes and no in front of him, Uchiha Akira chose yes, without any hesitation. The banknotes in the pockets were ashes. At the same time, the font in front of Uchiha Akira has changed. The simulation starts. 1 month later, you enter the ninja school and learn the basics. 3 months later, you finally extracted the first ray of chakra and accepted the edification of the will of fire. 9 months later, you successfully mastered the invisibility technique. 12 months later, on the night of the extermination, I saw with my own eyes that all my relatives and friends died in front of me. Under the fear and anger, you successfully opened your eyes, the number of chakra increased, and then, you were killed. Please select the reserved item after simulation. Choose 1. All learned knowledge, skills and combat experience. Option 2. Boosted chakra volume. Choose 3. Bloodline awakening state. Yeah, can I keep one of the skills, chakra and bloodline? Is this my cheat? Watching the lines of text beating in front of him, at the end, Uchiha Akira's heart was overjoyed. In this way, my cheat works well. One of the 3 options. Is this even a consideration? First, knowledge and skill retention. Keep the will of fire that you learn to brainwash. Or keep stealth. In other words, the so-called stealth technique is to use a piece of cloth to block oneself, so that people can't find it, right? And choose the amount of chakra. It only took me a year to refine chakra in front of me, so there must be not much. Naturally, the third point is chosen. Having chosen the third point, Uchiha Akira instantly felt a heat flow across his eyes. This felt very wonderful, and then, his eyes became scarlet as blood. At the same time, Tomo appeared in each of the left and right eyes. As Sharingan successfully opened his eyes, Uchiha Akira could feel that a huge chakra appeared in his body. Ah, Ming, your eyes. With the opening of Sharingan, Sasuke next to him of course noticed it and shouted in shock. Well, it seems that I have turned on Sharingan. Uchiha Akira nodded and said. It's a wonderful feeling. When Sharingan is turned on, all aspects of my dynamic vision have been greatly improved. Originally, Sasuke was going to go shopping with Uchiha Akira. Now, the leg is broken. Moreover, my eyes have been opened, and naturally I can't go shopping anymore. Uchiha tribe. Although it is the #1 wealthy family in Konoha in name and one of the founders of Konoha village, Uchiha's clan area is still the largest in Konoha village. However, if you look closely, you can see that the Uchiha tribe is actually far away from the central area of Konoha village. At this time, in the patriarch's house, several elders of the Uchiha clan were staying with the Fugaku patriarch. Recently, the senior officials of Konoha have been increasingly marginalizing me, Uchiha. Yeah, especially a few years ago, during the Nine Tails Rebellion, some people saw the eyes of Nine Tails, reflecting the appearance of Sharingan. Because of this, the life of my Uchiha family was even more sad. Originally, Itachi joined Anbu, which will help us to a large extent to ease the atmosphere with the top management of Konoha, but the recent development of the situation is still not optimistic. Several elders of the Uchiha clan, with every word of yours, expressed their concerns about the future of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Fugaku was silent. Now, he naturally knows the difficulties of the Uchiha family. Looking at the attitude of these elders, Fugaku understood that because of the persecution of Konoha village, the Uchiha family was already complaining about Konoha. Many people are already thinking of launching a coup. Just, with the Uchiha clan as hard as Konoha village. Fugaku understands that this is impossible with the strength of the Uchiha clan alone. Fortunately, the clansmen did not know that, in fact, they had already opened Mangekyo Sharingan. Otherwise, the intention to launch a coup d'état is no longer implied, but is clearly stated on the table. Tuk tuk tuk. Just when the elders and the Fugaku clan were discussing the future of the Uchiha clan, the knock on the door suddenly rang. What's the matter? Since we were just chatting at home, not in the conference hall, the atmosphere was relatively relaxed, Fugaku said. It's the elder's house, there's news, Master Uchiha Akira, Sharingan has been turned on. A voice from outside the door replied, answering. Next to him, an old man about 60 years old suddenly got up when he heard the words, Patriarch, there are important things at home, I'll go back first. When the voice fell, the old man didn't wait for the Fugaku Patriarch to answer, and hurriedly turned around and left. Elder, he really values his grandson. Some elders beside him sighed with emotion. No way, the first elder has only such a grandson left, of course it is important. However, as far as I know, Ming's talent is actually not high, right? Yeah, I heard that chakra hasn't been refined yet, so why did Sharingan turn on all of a sudden? Elders, discussing in a low voice. On the one hand, as the grandson of the great elder, Uchiha Akira is considered a lot of attention in the Uchiha family. And his talent, which can be called the tail of a crane, is also helpless. On the other hand, just such a guy with no ninja talent, but at the age of 6, he successfully opened Sharingan. It's like a recognized fool who suddenly wrote an article that will last forever. It's incredible, right? What happened to Ming? After a moment of silence, Uchiha Fugaku spoke up and asked outside the door. The opening and evolution of Sharingan is accompanied by intense pain. A mediocre person who has no ninja talent, or even chakra, has suddenly turned on Sharingan. Patriarch Fugaku was also curious, what happened to him that made him so strongly stimulated. Patriarch, the Uchiha clan standing at the door looked very strange. Inside the house, the Fugaku Patriarch and several elders looked at the people at the door strangely. Everyone in the tribe knows about Sharingan's situation. Therefore, they are also curious about what happened to Uchiha Akira, which actually stimulated his eyes. However, the attitude of this clan is very strange. Patriarch, young Master Ming, he fell from a tree and his legs were red and swollen, so he started Sharingan. Facing the gazes of the Patriarch and the elders, the clansman replied. Quiet. Hearing this answer, the room was suddenly dead silent. The Uchiha clan, the legendary cursed clan. Why? Because the Uchiha clan's blood follower limits Sharingan, although the power is strong. But it has to be accompanied by pain in order to open your eyes and advance. But what? Uchiha Akira just fell off the tree and opened his eyes. This is too much to open the eyes, isn't it? At least in the history of the Uchiha clan, such a situation has never happened before. Are you sure your eyes opened because of a fall? Nothing else happened. After a moment of silence, Patriarch Fugaku asked in disbelief. Yes, Patriarch, according to observation, young Master Ming and young Master Sasuke were originally talking about going shopping. This clan opened his mouth and told the specific situation. The son of the Patriarch and the grandson of the chief elder. Given that the conflict between the Uchiha clan and Konoha village is becoming more and more intense, naturally, there are clansmen who are secretly guarding it. Knowing the specific situation, Patriarch Fugaku and the elders stopped talking. Even chakra is not refined, and it will even fall from the tree, which is no different from ordinary people. However, can Sharingan be turned on? Good grandson, how is it? Are you all right? At home, Uchiha Akira sat quietly, next to a girl about 14 or 15 years old, with emerald green chakra on her hands, who was using medical ninjutsu treatment. Soon, Grandpa Uchiha came running over in a hurry. It's okay, I just fell on a tree. With Kiko's medical ninjutsu, I'll be fine soon. Uchiha Akira said, looking at the old man who ran in. It's alright. Are you sure it's alright? Grandpa heard that you've opened your eyes. Looking at the injury on the leg, it was indeed already getting better under the treatment of the maid Uchiha Keiko, Uchiha asked strangely. Eyes are opened, and nothing is really okay. Uchiha Akira explained. How can nothing happen? You really fell from the tree, and opened your eyes. After learning about Uchiha Akira's eye-opening situation, the old man was also dumbfounded. It might be like this. Hearing this, Uchiha Akira replied ambiguously. Uchiha Akira is not going to tell anyone about his cheat situation. Since there is a misunderstanding, it will be wrong. When you fall, you can open your eyes. This is simply, my name is Good Son, is the real super genius. Although it was incredible, the old man was more surprised. My dear grandson, after opening your eyes, do you have chakra too? Do you want to learn some ninjutsu? In addition to being overjoyed, the old man asked. Okay, you can learn a few simple ninjutsu and practice your hands. Hearing this, Uchiha Akira nodded in agreement. Then, the old man took the scroll of 3-body technique and even taught Uchiha Akira well in person. It's just that the old man said that he gave all the money, and even let Uchiha Akira drive the Sharingan to observe. However, the most basic clone technique, Uchiha Akira still contacted for most of the day, without any progress. Practicing ninjutsu isn't that simple. It's getting late today. Let's rest and practice tomorrow. Seeing that it was dark outside, the old man got up and said. However, when he walked to the door, his footsteps paused again, and he followed up. By the way, there are still half a month, and it will be the day when the ninja school starts, so prepare yourself. Well, got it. Uchiha Akira nodded. There is still half a month, and I will be enrolled in the ninja school. I knew it as early as the Sims before. By the way, Grandpa, can you give me some money? However, Uchiha Akira asked after seeing the old man really going out the door. Ask for money. The old man looked at Uchiha Akira in surprise, obviously not expecting him to make such a request. However, thinking that today Uchiha Sasuke has 200 taels of money. Perhaps, the grandson also wants to compare. As soon as he thought of this, the old man also took out 2 banknotes and appeared. Okay, you can take these 200 taels. After giving 200 taels of pocket money, the old man walked out. And what about Uchiha Akira? With 200 taels of money in hand, I communicated with the simulator, and I want to simulate a wave again. Only, the simulation failed. In this way, after tossing around in the middle of the night, I did not allow myself to continue the simulation. This makes Uchiha Akira strange. Could it be? Is it not enough money? 100 taels is enough for the first time, but for the second time, 200 taels are not enough. So, in the middle of the night, it is estimated that the old man should have fallen asleep. Uchiha Akira thinks that he will ask the old man for a few hundred taels to try it tomorrow, and then he falls asleep immediately. It's just that I have been thinking about Sims at first, but I can't open it. Now in the middle of the night, I was ready to go to sleep, but I found that it was okay. Have 100 taels of money, can consume 100 taels, start the first life simulation, do you want to do it? Weather. A familiar reminder reappeared in front of Uchiha Akira's eyes. What the hell? Why did it suddenly work again? Moreover, it is still 100 taels. No price increase. Could it be? Is it because of time? It's midnight, just turn the clock, it's the next day. So, can this life simulator only be used once a day? Shaking his head, he pressed down the messy thoughts in his mind, and then, Uchiha Akira pressed, yes. Because you opened your eyes when you fell, so you are famous in the Uchiha clan. In the next half-month, you will occasionally fall, drown occasionally, and even have a fire in your room in the middle of the night. You suspect that this is the old man who wants to use this method to try and see if you can make your Sharingan evolve again, but there is no evidence. After half a month, you entered the ninja school, you feel a little mentally weak. After 3 months, your chakra volume has increased by 5%. After 6 months, you master the invisibility technique. 8 months later, you master transformation technique. 10 months later, you have mastered the clone technique. 12 months later, your chakra has increased by 20%, the night of extermination begins, and you are dead. After the simulation is over, there are 3 more options. One is to learn the knowledge, ninjutsu and combat experience. One is the increase in the amount of chakra. The other is the bloodline boosting effect. This time, Uchiha Akira opted for the advancement of ninjutsu and knowledge. It was a very mysterious feeling, as if something that had been forgotten, suddenly remembered. The knowledge systematically learned from the ninja school, as well as the low-level basic ninjutsu such as stealth technique, transformation technique and clone technique, Uchiha Akira has also mastered. Invisibility is just the lowest level of invisibility. Most of them take a piece of cloth, cover themselves, and let themselves blend in with the surrounding environment as much as possible, similar to the ability of a chameleon. The clone technique is just a low-level magic shadow clone, and the clone can only confuse others. On the contrary, this transformation technique is very magical. It can not only become the appearance of other people, but also the appearance of objects. The second time I instantly mastered these low-level ninjutsu. Uchiha Akira is still very satisfied. 2 simulations before and after, 1 time to open Sharingan, 1 time to learn a few low-level ninjutsu. Is there anything more convenient to grow than this? Oh, what a pity. However, although the 2 life simulations were very gratifying, Uchiha Akira secretly sighed while lying on the bed. The night of the genocide a year later is a hurdle that he cannot overcome. Therefore, after a year, he will surely die. Therefore, the harvest of my life simulation is only 1 year. If there is no night of extermination, if you live for decades, wouldn't you be able to obtain chakra, or ninjutsu, which you have practiced for decades? So, first set a small goal. After several simulations, we can get through the night of extermination. Lying on the bed, it was already late at night. Uchiha Akira's heart was dazed, and he quickly fell asleep. The next day, under Kiko's service, Ming got up and took a shower. As the only grandson of the first elder, there are only 2 grandfathers and grandsons in the family, so naturally they are servants who serve. And Ming's personal maid is a girl who has mastered medical ninjutsu, and also opened the Sharingan of Urgoyu. She is a little genius. Master Ming, the first elder is already waiting for you in the backyard. When Ming's breakfast was finished, Keiko said as she packed up the table and chopsticks. When I got up and came to the backyard, the old man has been waiting for a long time. My dear grandson, you have already started Sharingan, and your insight will be greatly improved. Therefore, a basic ninjutsu such as clone technique, logically speaking, if you really want a master, it won't be too difficult. I will come back today to give it to you. Seeing Uchiha Akira coming, the old man said. Also, have Uchiha Akira opened Sharingan to view it. That, I have mastered clone technique. Uchiha Akira said after listening to the old man. Ah, already a master. Hearing this, the old man was stunned, and looked at Uchiha Akira dumbfounded. Clone technique, although it is only basic low-level ninjutsu. But for ordinary children to learn, even with enough chakra, it takes months of practice, right? Even with Sharingan's insight and his own teachings, in the old man's opinion, it would take about a month for him to become a good grandson if he wants to master the clone technique. But, yesterday, I had no idea until I practiced at night. After I slept, I suddenly became a master. Good grandson, you said, you are already a master. Then, let Grandpa see. After a moment of stunned, the old man looked at Uchiha Akira and asked. No nonsense, Uchiha Akira nodded, followed by a seal with both hands. With a bang, a puff of white smoke flashed. Then, a Uchiha Akira who looked exactly the same, stood beside him. Just looking at it, the old man understood that this avatar was just a phantom. However, I also understand that this is really pure clone technique. Although it can only be divided into 1 avatar now, it can also be said that it is a real master clone technique. At least there is no fist-sized mini version, or a scrap version that can only lie on the ground. This master level is already very good. Good grandson, didn't you have a clue yesterday? Why did you suddenly become a master today? Although he was both surprised and happy, the old man was more surprised. How do you say it? I probably didn't have a clue yesterday. When I was sleeping in the middle of the night, I suddenly figured it out. Uchiha Akira replied casually. That's fine. Hearing Uchiha Akira's words, the old man's expression was very strange. But, apart from this explanation, is there anything else that can be explained? Ha ha ha, okay, if this clone technique is already a master, then, Grandpa will teach you transformation technique. It's weird, but it's a good thing after all. After laughing a few times, the old man followed up. After imparting some knowledge about transformation technique, the old man was in good spirits and let Uchiha Akira practice well, humming a little song in his mouth, and left home. On the surface, I am studying seriously, but in fact, this transformation technique is also a master. After the old man left, Uchiha Akira was thinking about how to make money again. After all, he is only 6 years old now, and the pocket money of 200 taels is enough, but if it is 100 taels every day, this will lead to a lot of doubts, right? So, is there any way to make money legitimately for this 6-year-old child? Ninja on a mission. Forget it, I didn't get the ninja forehead protector, it's impossible. Do business. The only grandson of the elder Uchiha, who has already shown his ninja talent, is a blockbuster. Going to business. Can Grandpa break his leg? Theft. This is not possible either. Wouldn't it be forcing oneself to research some exotic products, or simply writing novels as a copywriter to sell books to make money? At home, Uchiha Akira didn't mean to cultivate, but the great elder Uchiha was humming a little song. Elder, congratulations, Ming Boy is only 6 years old, and he has successfully awakened Sharingan. It seems that he is a genius. The second elder of the Uchiha tribe saw the appearance of the first elder and congratulated him. This boy, after awakening Sharingan, he became interested in ninjutsu. Yesterday, he was entangled with my old bones, and he wanted to learn clone technique. Sigh, the old man pretended to be helpless and sighed. Really, this is a good thing. The second elder nodded and said. However, this kid learned the clone technique overnight, and today he is pestering me to learn the transformation technique. Alas, at this rate, my old bones will be hollowed out by him in a few years, right? Then he sighed again. Second elder, I'm here to congratulate you, what about Versailles? After a good show with the second elder, the old man followed and went to the third elder and even the Fugaku patriarch to hang out. When we meet, we have to chat a few times. And now, the most eye-catching thing about the Uchiha family is that they can open their eyes with a fall. When talking about this matter, the old man took out the news that his good grandson learned the clone technique overnight and talked about it again. Caused the exclamation of Uchiha executives. It's enough to wake up Sharingan after a fall, and learn clone technique in one night. Is this the new genius of the Uchiha family after Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi? With the attitude of Versailles, the old man can't wait to tell the world. My grandson, Uchiha Akira, looks like a Hokage. After a night of silence, Ming woke up from his deep sleep the next morning, and sure enough, the familiar reminder text appeared in front of his eyes again. The last 100 taels of coins were turned into ashes, and a new round of life simulation began. Firstly, I opened my eyes after a fall, and then I learned the clone technique in one night. Your genius name has already emerged in the Uchiha family. 1 month later, you entered the ninja school and were assigned to Class A in the 1st grade. You can see that all the direct disciples of the major families are here. It seems that this is the best class in the 1st grade. In this class, you saw Uzumaki Naruto, Inazukaya, Hyuga Hinata and other strong people in the original book. 3 months later, as a genius of the Uchiha clan, he started school with basic ninjutsu such as clone technique. The old man told you to suppress the Hyuga Hinata in the class either openly or secretly. You secretly complained that you were about to exterminate your clan, still thinking about the battle between Uchiha and Hyuga. After 6 months, your grades were overtaken by Uchiha Sasuke. 12 months later, your chakra amount has increased by 30%, the night of the genocide, you are dead. This simulation is similar to the previous one. Still entered the ninja school, and then, 1 year later, the night of the genocide was killed. However, what has changed is the class assignment, and I was assigned to the class of several Shaoqiangs in the original work. It seems that the name of genius has changed me a bit, and I have been assigned to a better class. Also because the starting point is a little higher. Therefore, the amount of chakra accumulated in 1 year has also increased from 20% last time to 30%. The first time I got the Sharingan, the second time I got a few basic ninjutsu. The third time, after thinking about it, I chose to increase the amount of chakra. As Ming made his choice, he could clearly feel that his chakra volume had suddenly increased. 1/3 of the chakra volume has increased, which is still very obvious. Only 3 days, 3 simulations, my Sharingan, basic ninjutsu and chakra have all gained. Ming nodded silently for his own growth rate, and was very happy in his heart. However, before his happy thoughts fell, another reminder appeared in front of him. Congratulations on the upgrade of the comprehensive strength to Genin, and the consumption amount of the life simulator has increased to 1,000 taels. Looking at this prompt, Uchiha Akira didn't know whether to be happy or sad. Perhaps, both. Fortunately, after only 3 simulations, I have the strength of a comprehensive Genin. Speaking of such a growth rate, can it scare many people to death? But unfortunately, after the comprehensive strength has been upgraded to the Genin stage, each time the life simulator needs 1,000 taels. The price has doubled tenfold. Although only 100 taels can be simulated once, Uchiha Akira's heart has long been prepared for a possible price increase in the future. Unexpectedly, this increase is a tenfold increase. However, thinking about it carefully, it took me 3 years to simulate 3 times before I barely reached the level of Genin. In terms of his talent, is it really only mediocre? Shaking his head secretly, under Kiko's service, he took a shower and ate some breakfast. The old man is waiting for him in the yard again, saying that he wants to see if his transformation technique has grown. Following that, Ming performed the transformation technique again, and once again shocked the old man. Learn 1 ninjutsu a day. My grandson, if he really didn't make a sound, he was already a blockbuster. Ha ha ha, good boy, really amazing, several basic ninjutsu have mastered. This time, let me teach you a somewhat difficult ninjutsu. I learned 2 ninjutsu in 2 days, and the old man is in a very good mood. Next, take out the chakra test paper and test Ming's chakra properties first. In the end, the result is a thunder attribute and a fire attribute. Not surprisingly, Uchiha people, these 2 attributes are very common. Then, the old man began to teach Ming the practice of the great fireball technique. Serious study, as always. One day, still no clue. As the sky darkened, Ming took the opportunity to ask for some more money. The old man muttered, "Why did the 200 taels run out so quickly?" Then, he took out another 200 taels, and then warned Ming, "Don't spend money indiscriminately, and don't have fun at this age. Instead, it should focus on cultivation. In the future of the Uchiha family will be handed over to you young people." So, in a flash, more than half a month has passed. There are only 200 taels. Of course, the life simulator cannot be turned on. As for the practice of the great fireball technique, Ming is still half understood and has no clue. In the past few days, every morning, the old man will check the progress of great fireball's cultivation in the yard. However, after so many days, the great fireball technique has not been successful. This made the old man secretly murmur in his heart. Could it be that he suddenly learned the characteristics of ninjutsu after sleeping? Did he lose it? Finally, seeing that school will start in a few days, there is hardly much growth these days, which makes the old man can't help but ask about the situation. "Grandpa, maybe these days, you're not in high spirits." After waiting for half a month, the old man finally couldn't help but ask, pretending to be in no mood. "I'm not very interested, so there's no progress in my cultivation." Listening to the words of his good grandson, the old man thought about it. Maybe, is it really possible? After all, if a person is more interested in cultivation, it is indeed more effective. Then, "Dear grandson, how can you be in high spirits?" Then, the old man asked again. "Money, will you give me some money to try?" Ming looked at the old man and asked. "That's fine, let's try it." He took it out from his arms and took out a stack of coins. The old man thought it would be good to try a dead horse as a living horse doctor. "Thank you, Grandpa." Before the old man could count the money, Ming grabbed them all with a big smile on his face. After thanking him, he turned and left. Back in my room, I counted carefully, not many, only 2,940 taels. However, it is enough to start the simulation yourself. Sure enough, plus the huge sum of money that was saved before, wearing more than 3,000 taels, the life simulator finally responded. Have 3,190 taels of money, can consume 1,000 taels, start the first life simulation, do you want to do it? Whether. Yes. After waiting for more than half a month, I finally started a new round of life simulation, obviously I chose yes. The fourth life sim begins. 7 days later, you successfully entered the ninja school, and you are in the same class as the Shaoqiangs in the original book. If you want to earn more money justifiably and have the comprehensive strength of genin, you applied for early graduation 1 month later. Konoha arranged for Genin Hyuga to enter the sky to fight you. 3 minutes, you are defeated and become the laughingstock of the school. 5 months later, you learned the Great Fireball technique. After 9 months, your chakra volume has increased by 30%. After 11 months, you have learned the Shadow Clone technique. The night of extermination starts, you are dead. Looking at the new round of life simulation, Ming sighed helplessly in his heart. So what, is the night of the genocide always a hurdle that it is difficult for him to cross the past? However, the life simulation this time has achieved a lot, and the amount of chakra has increased by 30% on the basis of his current situation. This should be a good improvement. In addition, there are 2 ninjutsu masters, Shadow Clone technique and Great Fireball technique. Great Fireball technique. This is a ninjutsu that must be mastered by the Uchiha family. Also, the multiple Shadow Clone technique is the A-level forbidden technique. However, the ordinary Shadow Clone technique is only B-level difficulty. Sharingan has not evolved, so after thinking about chakra and ninjutsu, Ming chose to acquire ninjutsu. Another bright enlightenment rises from the heart. 2 ninjutsus of Shadow Clone technique and Great Fireball technique, oneself have succeeded master. It's just that the consumption of these 2 ninjutsus is too high based on the amount of chakra I currently have. In the early morning of the second day, the old man was still looking forward to staying in his yard, and at the same time, he looked at Ming curiously. There is no nonsense, he made a mark with his hands, and directly performed a Great Fireball technique. The giant Great Fireball with a diameter of about 2 meters is reflected on the excited face of the old man. Although the good grandson asked for money, it was really strange. However, did you really master the Great Fireball technique the next day? This method makes the old man very happy again. Then, he left the house with a little tune. Obviously, I couldn't help showing it off again. At noon, Sasuke came over, and apparently heard that Master Ming had a Great Fireball technique, and tried it out with Ming Bai. 2 huge fireballs were blown out from Sasuke's and Ming's mouths, respectively. In terms of scale, it seemed that Ming's was bigger than Ming's. This made Sasuke a little unconvinced, and he left in a hurry, obviously preparing for hard training and treating Ming as a competitor. Seeing that Sasuke came and went in a hurry, Ming smiled and shook his head. He really is a child. In my heart, I thought to myself, what other ways can I grow up quickly? After thinking about it for a while, Ming decided to try it in a different direction. Wait until the next day and start the simulation again. 6 days later, you refused admission to the ninja school and wanted to practice on your own. After 7 months, your chakra has increased by 30%. 11 months later, you are looking at the night of the genocide. It is not far away. You have prepared enough supplies and found a tree hole in the Konoha village to hide in the forest of the training ground. 1 year later, your supplies are exhausted, so you can only sneak out Shadow Clone in the middle of the night to find food. 1 year and 2 months later, you were killed by a masked ninja. This time, Ming decided to hide and see if he could escape the night of extermination. However, the final result showed that although he successfully escaped the night of extermination, in Konoha village, he was still in the den. It's only been 3 months. This time, the main focus of cultivation is on chakra, plus it has been 3 months, so Ming chose to increase the amount of chakra. With this choice, Ming can feel that his chakra volume has increased significantly. In terms of quantity, it is about half of it. It seems that Shadow Clone did the trick. If the main body and Shadow Clone are trained at the same time, there will be an amplification effect. It seems that simply wanting to hide is not enough. I pondered secretly in my heart. After I had an idea, I saw that I had the last 1,000 taels of my money left. The next day, Ming started his life simulation again. This time, again with a different strategy. 5 days later, you successfully enrolled. 5 months later, you will have 2 shadow clones every day to assist you in your practice. Your chakra growth rate is gratifying, and you have also learned the Fengxianwo technique in ninjutsu. 9 months later, you applied for early graduation, and Konoha arranged for Genin Hyuga to enter the sky as your opponent. After 10 minutes of fierce battle, you and Hyuga lost both in the air. It was a draw, and they were successfully promoted to Konoha Genin. Graduate early at the age of 6, your fame is catching up with Hitaki Kakashi and become a household name genius in Konoha. 10 months later, you finally waited for a suitable out of the village mission, received the mission and left Konoha village. 11 months later, the genocide of the Uchiha clan shook the ninja world. 15 months later, you haven't returned to the village yet. Konoha defines you as a B-level traitor. 3 years later, you were wandering in the wild, and you came across Anbu, a fog ninja village who coveted you in Sharingan. You died. Watching this life simulation, Ming let out a long sigh of relief. Although he died young at the age of 9, it has been 3 years. In the past 3 years of practice, of course, the newly acquired ninjutsu is not much, and the increase in the amount of chakra is the biggest. This time, I still choose to increase the amount of chakra. Boom! With Ming's choice, a huge chakra burst out from his body. This huge chakra tripled in size in an instant. For a time, it was difficult for Ming to control, and he could almost see chakra overflowing on his body. After 3 years, it's really different. My chakra has increased a lot. Ming's heart was overjoyed when he felt the change in his chakra. With a bang, the door was slammed open, and the old man rushed into the room. Looking at the skyrocketing chakra on Ming's body, he was stunned. "My dear grandson, who are you?" "I don't know. For no reason, chakra has improved a bit." He spread his hands and made an expression that he didn't understand. After carefully checking the physical condition, the amount of chakra is indeed a lot, but the body has no sequelae. This made the old man a little relieved. However, when he left, he secretly muttered in his heart. First fell and opened his eyes. Then, you can master clone technique, transformation technique, and even great fireball technique in one night's sleep. Well now, early in the morning, the amount of chakra has skyrocketed. What's going on? My dear grandson, could it be that Sage of Six Paths failed to reincarnate? This growth situation is too scary, isn't it? In the next few days, Ming got used to the soaring chakra in his body. It took several days, but he finally got used to it. And these days, Ming did not ask the old man for money again. After all, 3,000 taels, a 6-year-old child, spent 3 days. Can't say anything about this, can it? So, let's wait until ninja school graduates. When simulating, you and Genin can lose both, and graduate with a tie. So, with 3 more years of training for chakra, it should be easier for him to graduate this time, right? After becoming an official ninja, can you earn money by taking on missions? Exactly, tomorrow is the day of school. Master Ming, today is the day to go to the ninja school. From now on, you will have to set a regular schedule for all aspects of daily washing. On this day, Keiko said while waiting for Uchiha Akira to finish breakfast and clear the dishes. Probably not, Uchiha Akira said, shaking his head. No, Keiko looked at Uchiha Akira in confusion. Obviously, after going to school, you have to get up and go to school regularly. Isn't this common sense? It's just that Uchiha Akira just smiled lightly at Keiko's stunned face, and didn't explain much. Go out, follow behind the old man, and sign up for the ninja school together. Going out of the clan, meeting other peers and going to the ninja school, and also Uchiha Sasuke. Ming-kun, your reputation is very loud these days. Next to Sasuke was not the patriarch Fugaku, but the young Brokan Uchiha Itachi. In many simulations, he killed the god of killing all the clansmen on the night of the extermination. No matter how famous I am, I can't compare to brother Itachi and brother Shisui. Shaking his head, Uchiha Akira said modestly. Of course, this is not modest. Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi can be said to be the two geniuses of Uchiha's fame right now. Especially Shisui has become Shisui's name, and Uchiha Itachi has become Anbu's captain. Uchiha Itachi is not a person who likes to talk a lot, and he can take the initiative to say hello to Uchiha Akira, perhaps because Sasuke has a good relationship with him. Or maybe it's because the name of Uchiha Akira's genius has been resounding in the clan recently. After talking for a while, I watched Sasuke and Uchiha Akira chatting and didn't speak anymore. It was the old man next to him who chatted with Uchiha Itachi for a while. Walking on the streets of Konoha village, Uchiha Akira can clearly feel that the villagers of Konoha village are more afraid and alienated from the Uchiha tribe. In this way, the group came to the ninja school, filled out the information, and successfully applied for admission. Then, the third Hokage-sama came to the school playground with a gracious appearance, and told everyone about the topic of the will of fire by words and deeds. For these, Uchiha Akira can be said to have been nurtured long ago. After all, with so many life simulators, Uchiha Akira is like a student who has been repeated many times in the first year of ninja school. Speaking of which, is this more in line with the 10,000 years crane tale, setting than Uzumaki Naruto? In other words, do you think you have the fate of the protagonist? Come on, think about the protagonist Uzumaki Naruto, a natural Uzumaki physique. I haven't graduated yet, and I learned the multiple shadow clone of the A-level forbidden technique in one night. Even thousands of shadow clone can be separated out in one breath, and there are super large plugins such as Nine-Tails Demon Fox in the body. Think about yourself again. The life simulator has been working hard for several years, and can only barely release a few shadow clone. With such a bottomless amount of chakra, even if you cultivate for 100 years, or even 200 or 300 years, you can't match it, right? Still want to compare the fate of the protagonist with him? Just because of the reincarnation of the son of Sage of Six Paths, there is nothing I can do. Okay, let's start the class now. All the students who called out their names, follow me. Uchiha Akira wandered off stage while the third Hokage on stage was spreading the word about the will of fire. In this way, half an hour has passed, and finally, Yumino Iruka is the first to walk up the stage, holding the list in his hand. It is time to start the class. Uzumaki Naruto, Hyuga Hinata, Inuzuka Ya, Uchiha Akira. In this way, there are more than 30 names in the big concept before and after, the students of Iruka class, even if they are finished. Follow, Iruka is ready to step down and let the other teachers come up. Wait, Iruka-sensei. However, just as Iruka turned to step down, Uchiha Akira shouted. As soon as this remark came out, it attracted the attention of everyone present. Who are you? The first time I met, I only recognized the Uchiha family emblem on Uchiha Akira's body. Of course Iruka didn't recognize Uchiha Akira. Iruka-sensei, I'm Uchiha Akira, and I want to apply for graduation from ninja school. Uchiha Akira bowed to Iruka with a humble and polite appearance, and at the same time, opened his mouth to make his request. Iruka in the original book is a person worthy of respect, so Uchiha Akira is still willing to give the necessary gifts to teachers and students. It's just that, although it seems humble and polite, Haki's words shocked the entire school playground. Following that, a lot of discussion sounded on the playground. Applying to graduate from school on the day of school. Is this Uchiha? Is this genius? Even with Kakashi's pearls in front, Genin at 5, Chunin at 6, and Jonin at 12. But that's a wartime exception. According to the usual rules, many parents have to wait until the class is completed before they leave. Therefore, at this time, there are not only schools and teachers, but also third Hokage and many parents on the learning playground. Therefore, Uchiha Akira's sudden application for graduation has attracted everyone's attention. Uchiha Akira, I heard that the Uchiha clan has a new talent recently. Taking a look at Uchiha Akira, third Hokage was slightly impressed. After all, Sarutobi Hiruzen has heard about such topical things as opening your eyes after a fall. Do you apply for graduation on the day of admission? Even I didn't do it back then. Uchiha Itachi also looked at Uchiha Akira and muttered to himself. Ming, this guy. Sasuke next to him was a little unconvinced when he heard the words. A month ago, he was still someone who hadn't refined chakra, and suddenly, he was going to apply for school graduation in a month. Have you been left behind by him? Who is this stinky guy? Uzumaki Naruto, Inuzuka and others next to him were also secretly unhappy. Is this being compared before school starts? This kid, it's so high profile. The old man next to him cursed. However, looking at the smile on his old face, it doesn't look like he's really angry. Tisk tisk, after all, as an old man, what could be more gratifying than seeing your grandson achieve success? As Uchiha Akira's voice fell, there was a lot of discussion on the playground. However, third Hokage didn't speak up. Obviously, this matter needs to be handled by myself, the teacher. Ming, admission to this ninja school is not just about learning ninjutsu, but more importantly, theoretical knowledge, and the knowledge of the will of fire is also the top priority. Yumino Iruka showed a kind smile and taught Dunton. These words made many parents nod their heads and believed in Iruka a lot. This teacher's words are indeed reasonable. The ninja school is not just about teaching and refining chakra and practicing ninjutsu. It is also very important to establish the correct ideological and moral aspects. For example, the true meaning of the will of fire, can the people of Uchiha really understand? If you really thought you were from the Uchiha clan, learned a little ninjutsu in advance, and won the starting line, can you apply for graduation on the day of admission? At this time, all eyes fell on Uchiha Akira. Yeah, Iruka brought this up, how would he deal with it? It can be said that everyone is watching, but Uchiha Akira's expression is still calm. It seems that the attention of so many people is not enough to make him feel nervous. However, Iruka's words were something that Uchiha Akira didn't expect. There seems to be no such section in the life simulator. Of course, in the life simulator, I did not apply for graduation on the day of admission. So, after being silent for a while, Uchiha Akira said, actually, I'm also very interested in the will of fire, so I already understood it when I was at home. Where the leaves are flying, the fire will continue to grow. The fire will continue to illuminate the village and allow the new leaves to sprout. Uchiha Akira opened his mouth and spoke out the core concept of the will of fire. Then he spoke again, and recited some important ninja school texts that could be recited. Just kidding, when ninjutsu is simulated, clone technique is a wave of ninjutsu, the acquisition of knowledge. Great Fireball is another wave. Uchiha Akira has been in the first grade of this ninja school twice. Of course, some ideological and moral texts are clearly remembered. These words left Iruka speechless. Indeed, the ideology and morality of the ninja school can be recited. It can be seen that Uchiha Akira's ninja school courses have indeed been self-taught. Immediately, Iruka's gaze turned to the third Hokage. Well, the culture class has proved itself, and the will of fire can be considered to understand, even third Hokage nodded with satisfaction. So, then test your ability to display, whether you have the level of a ninja. Third Hokage stepped forward and announced. The culture class is broken, so the most important thing is to look at the actual combat ability. After all, ninjas are the profession of slaughter, and actual combat ability is the most important thing. Hyuga is in the air, you are also a genin who graduated for 2 years, so let's go and test it. Third Hokage said to the 13 or 14-year-old boy from the Hyuga family next to him after hesitating for a while. Follow. Looking at Uchiha Akira. As long as you can tie Shinkong, I will approve your graduation in the name of Hokage. Ah, watching third Hokage put Hyuga into the air as Uchiha Akira's opponent, the old man next to him sighed. Between the Uchiha clan and the Hyuga clan, the battle for the #1 giant in Konoha can almost be said to be deeply rooted. Therefore, let the Hyuga clan be the opponents of the good grandson, and the opponent will definitely block it harder than ordinary ninjas. However, this Hyuga has only graduated for 2 years. It is not bad in genin, but it is not strong either. With the law-abiding strength, others really can't pick out a single fault. Similarly, the people on the playground consciously spread out, leaving an open space. At the same time, everyone is staring at Uchiha Akira curiously. Just a 6-year-old child, apply for graduation as soon as he enters school. I don't know what his strength is. If it succeeds, it can be said to be a genius after Hatake Kakashi. Of course, if he fails, he will surely follow him for many years. Not to mention the thoughts of the people next to him. Uchiha Akira stood silently, looking at the opponent in front of him. 13 or 14-year-olds are almost a head taller than him. Hyuga raised his hand in the air and put on a gentle fist pose. Uchiha Akira raised his hand, and the two darts swirled in two arcs in midair, shooting towards the opponent from the left and right sides. Stepping on 8 trigrams, Hyuga stepped into the air and moved sideways, easily dodging the attack of these two darts. He didn't expect his two darts to be able to make merit. Taking advantage of the gap between the opponent's dodging, Uchiha Akira's eyes were scarlet, and a hook jade appeared in each of his left and right eyes. Sharingan, this is Sharingan. Sure enough, he started Sharingan successfully at the age of 6, is Uchiha another genius? Hyuga Jinkong also opened his eyes. As the pupils of the two sides unfolded, the surrounding people talked a lot. After all, Sharingan and Bian are the two most famous pupil skills in the ninja world. This kind of collision between Sharingan and Bian is not something that ordinary people can see at will. The hands formed a seal, and then, with two bangs, two shadow clones appeared and charged towards the left and right sides again. Clone technique. No, it's all entities, not phantoms, it's the shadow clone technique. This, even the shadow clone technique is a master. Seeing the appearance of this shadow clone technique, the people of the ninja family next to them all showed surprise on their faces. Although it is only AB level ninjutsu, for a 6-year-old child, this is a bit scary. This stinky boy, when did you learn the shadow clone technique? Quote. Looking at Uchiha Akira's shadow clone, even the old man was secretly surprised. However, the smile on his face could not be concealed. In any case, the better his grandson is, the happier he will be. Knowing that I'm from the Hyuga clan, you're still fighting me. Seeing the two shadow clone pounce towards him, Hyuga didn't hesitate in the air. Use the gentle fist to blow up these two shadow clones in just 3 or 2 moves. However, before he had time to be happy, the scorching fire had already slammed into him. Fire style. Great fireball technique. With a diameter of more than 1 meter, the fireball is like a water tank. Horrified in his heart, Hyuga attacked and stepped on 8 trigrams, twisting his body as much as possible. One arm was scratched by the flames of the great fireball, and it was instantly charred. With a grunt, Hyuga Jinkong endured the injury on his arm and bullied Uchiha Akira directly. The Uchiha family is famous for their fire-style ninja world, while the Hyuga family is famous for their gentle fist taijutsu. Naturally, the Hyuga clan and the Uchiha clan fought, and the key to victory was the close-range physical combat. This is something that children know. Therefore, I would rather fight my arm to be injured by fire style, and Hyuga must also pull the distance between the two sides when entering the air. Riding directly in front of Uchiha Akira, Hyuga Jinkong raised his other hand and tapped the opponent's acupuncture point like lightning. The finger successfully clicked on the acupuncture point on the opponent's chest. Feeling the real touch from his fingertips, Hyuga relaxed in the air. It's over. Boom. However, the moment Uchiha Akira was hit by the gentle fist that Hyuga entered the air, suddenly, his body exploded and turned into a puff of white smoke. How can that be? Seeing that Uchiha Akira, who was hit by himself, turned into white smoke, how could Hyuga not understand what happened? Incredible. You lost. A kunai touched Hyuga Jinkong's back, and at the same time, Uchiha Akira appeared behind Hyuga Jinkong. Feeling the appearance of the Uchiha Akira deity behind him, Hyuga's body froze. When did you hide your body? Hyuga Shinsora understood that he had been deceived by the opponent in the battle just now. Simply put, it was a show. However, the self who has white eyes, but did not see when the other party hides his body at all, which makes Hyuga in the air puzzled. Just when my first 2 shadow clones were blocking your view. Uchiha Akira explained, taking back the kunai that he was pushing against each other's heart. Yes, at first the 2 shadow clone rushed to melee, and did not expect the 2 shadow clone to be able to defeat the opponent. The main thing was to attract the attention of the other party. Then, a shadow clone was used to take the place of the deity. At the same time, I made a transformation technique and turned it into a stone. Sure enough, the opponent got the trick and killed the shadow clone who replaced the deity, so he thought he had won. As for the reason why the white eye with the ability to see through didn't find the little movements behind Shadow Clone's occlusion. In the original book, Uzumaki Naruto used Shadow Clone to block the big hole underneath, and the main body could sneak under Hyuga Neji to launch an attack. The reason is the same. It's amazing. Is this the power of Uchiha, the #1 giant in Konoha? A 6-year-old child. Shadow Clone technique, Great Fireball technique, Transformation technique. These ninjutsu techniques are used very skillfully, and the most important thing is the wisdom of battle, which should not be underestimated. Unbelievable, this is a 6-year-old child. Looks like the Uchiha family, another incredible genius has appeared. On the playground of the ninja school, the surrounding people watching the battle also began to talk in a low voice. The old man next to him burst out laughing. His own good grandson defeated Genin in front of everyone's eyes, and he was also the Genin of the Hyuga family. Listening to the admiration of the people around you is much happier than others praising you. In the same way, as Hokage himself, how can he not count the things he promised in front of everyone's eyes? So, after declaring that the battle was Uchiha Akira's victory, third Hokage took out a forehead protector and handed it over to Uchiha Akira himself. In this way, he was granted the qualification of Genin. Next, it's time for the ninja school to continue dividing classes. And Uchiha Akira followed by registering the ninja identity information. Today, the news that Uchiha Akira applied for graduation on the first day of school quickly spread throughout Konoha village. Uchiha Akira's genius name spread throughout the Konoha village. It is worth mentioning that, according to the rules, if the Uchiha people have completed the graduation assessment, they will be given priority to enter the Konoha Guard. After all, the section of the Konoha Guard is completely occupied by the Uchiha clan. It's just that Uchiha Akira politely declined the decision to transfer himself to the Konoha Guard. This so-called Konoha Guard is simply similar to the role of the police and urban management. More importantly, to maintain the security of Konoha village, you can't go to the task center to pick up tasks, so you can only get dead wages. Of course Uchiha Akira refused. On the one hand, it is because of Uchiha Akira's talent. On the other hand, it may be the face of the old man. Since Uchiha Akira expressed his unwillingness to join the Konoha Guard, the Fugaku Patriarch did not mean to force it. However, according to the rules, the new Genin needs to be led by Jonin himself. When Uchiha Akira returned home, the old man was 7 or 8 drunk at night, and came to Ming's room humming a little song. On the one hand, he praised his grandson well. On the other hand, he also gave Uchiha Akira a time and address, and asked him to arrive on time tomorrow morning, saying that Uchiha's top management had arranged for him an excellent teacher. Hearing this, Uchiha Akira was secretly curious. His current reputation as a genius resounded in Konoha village, and some people even compared him to Hitaki Kaka of 5-year-old Genin and 6-year-old Chunin. What kind of teacher will the top Uchiha arrange for him? The role of this teacher is not just the relationship between the boss and the subordinate, but the relationship between the master and the apprentice. I asked the old man curiously, but the old man smiled mysteriously and looked like he was selling out, saying that he would know when he saw someone tomorrow. With a curious mind, Uchiha Akira rested for one night, washed up early the next morning, and had breakfast. At a lake in the Uchiha tribe, Uchiha Akira came over, but a figure could be seen standing here from a distance. Wearing a brown-green vest, carrying a small sword on his back, he wears the Uchiha clan's emblem on his clothes. Sensing that Uchiha Akira was approaching, the figure turned his head, looking like he was 16 or 17 years old, Danzi knows. Hello, Uchiha Akira, right. I'm Uchiha Shisui, and from now on, I'll be your teacher. The figure said hello with a kind voice. Chapter 11. Who? The person in front of him, who is he? Uchiha Shisui. Shocked, hearing what the other party said, Uchiha Akira was completely stunned. Who is Uchiha Shisui? In the original book, this is a powerful character who only survives in memories. At the moment, it is one of Uchiha's double pride. It is also Uchiha Itachi's life mentor and best friend. Uchiha Itachi's ability, that is the existence of max in all aspects of force value, strategy, temperament, and power, is called Itachi God by three-dimensional anime fans. However, Uchiha Itachi himself said that Uchiha Shisui is better than himself. Mangekyo Sharingan's distinguished heavenly gods can even be said to be the most terrifying pupil technique in the Hokage world, no one. Moreover, One Eye opened Susa, and asked who else. Uchiha Akira knew that at the age of 6, he defeated Genin when he first entered school and successfully graduated, which made his name of genius resound throughout Konoha. It has greatly increased the popularity of Uchiha. Therefore, the senior management of Uchiha must take themselves very seriously. However, they didn't expect to pay such attention to it. He actually asked Uchiha Shisui to be his teacher. However, from the perspective of Uchiha's senior management, it makes sense. At the rate of growth that he has shown recently. In just 1 month, I opened Sharingan, Master Transformation Technique, Clone Technique, Shadow Clone, Great Fireball Technique, and a lot of chakra. It can be said that it is a blockbuster, and in just 1 month, it has achieved what others can achieve in years. If you put yourself in the shoes of yourself, if you were the top of the Uchiha clan, you would make the same choice. Of course, the family knows their own business. On the surface, he has achieved such an achievement in just 1 month, but in reality, Sims lived 6 times before and after, and it took almost 6 years, and their aptitudes were still mediocre. What? Do you have any dissatisfaction with me being your teacher? After revealing his identity, Uchiha Akira didn't speak for a while. Uchiha Shisui asked. His tone was still warm, it was like a spring breeze. There's nothing to be dissatisfied with, it's just, there are some surprises. Hearing this, Uchiha Akira quickly restrained a wave of his emotions, shook his head and replied. This is not a compliment, but a surprise. The legendary Uchiha Shisui to be his teacher. Is there anything more surprising than this? Although, judging from the plot of the original work, in less than a year, Mr. Shisui will have to receive a box lunch. However, if you do something in advance, can you prevent the tragedy from happening? Uchiha Akira's heart suddenly had such an idea. In the past, Uchiha Akira had no intention of changing the night of the genocide, because he was a small cannon fodder and could not affect anything at all. But now, the name of his genius has some weight. Of course, the most important thing is to have a mentorship with the big guy Uchiha Shisui. Maybe you can try it. Of course, it's still early, don't rush to show anything, you can try your own ideas in the life simulator. My reputation, you should have heard it, but after all, it's just a rumor, not the real me. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Uchiha Shisui, 16 years old, elite Jonin, good at fire style, knife technique, illusion, body flicker technique, and of course, Sharingan. Dream, it's peace. Hobby, raising crows. There is no arrogance of being a genius at all, which is very different from other Uchiha people. Uchiha Shisui introduced himself, behaved in the world, and gave people a feeling of spring breeze. Uchiha Akira, 6 years old, Genin, I'm not very good at it at the moment. Dream, it should be a few more years of life, right? According to the template given by Uchiha Shisui, Uchiha Akira also introduced himself. How many more years to live? What kind of dream is this? A 6-year-old's dream. Uchiha Akira's self-introduction made Shisui give him a weird look. However, he didn't get into it, just continued to stare at Uchiha Akira. Well, referring to Shisui's template, I have nothing to say. With a helpless sigh in his heart, Uchiha Akira said, as for hobbies, it should be money. Money, do you like money? Shisui was a little surprised by this hobby. Yes, nothing to admit, Uchiha Akira nodded. Make money, you like money, and you can become stronger with your own money. This is not shabby, and there is nothing to admit. Alright, I just took on a mission to hunt down criminals, AC level mission, the reward is 15,000 taels, do you want to try it? Following Uchiha Akira's words, Shisui asked. Okay, 15,000 taels, how much can I share? Hearing this, Uchiha Akira's eyes lit up. 15,000 quest gold, Konoha village draws 5,000 for handling fees, we can get 10,000 taels. Shisui replied. Having said this, he paused for a while, then glanced at Uchiha Akira again, and said, of course, the amount of 10,000 taels of mission gold you can get depends on how much you can play. 1/3 of the handling fee. It's good, yes, compared to some platforms, the reward will be deducted by half, which is a lot of conscience. Hearing what Shisui said, Uchiha Akira nodded silently. As for how much he can take, it depends on how much role he plays. Uchiha Akira also thinks it is reasonable. Shisui has left the village. The goal of this mission is to hunt down a criminal, a murderer. It's just an ordinary person, so the difficulty of this task is only C level. If it is a certain ninja to kill, it will be a B level difficulty. After all, tasks involving fighting between ninjas are generally B level or higher. What is the purpose of Shisui taking a C level mission? Uchiha Akira also understands in his heart. Although he is a genius, he is only 6 years old after all, and he has never killed anyone, right? Therefore, this C-level mission can be regarded as letting me start a killing ring. The cultivation of geniuses by the Uchiha family is naturally different, which is also in line with Uchiha Akira's mind. After all, if you are really like Urzuzi and the others in the original book, you will start with D-level tasks for a few months, such as weeding and catching pets, which is a complete waste of your own development time. The life simulator has been simulated so many times, and Uchiha Akira deeply understands that whether or not he will die on the night of the genocide, it will be the time when the Uchiha family and Konoha village will tear their faces. Simply put, it's like the ultimate team fight. Naturally, with less than a year left, of course, it is the kingly way to make up for the frantic growth. Closer to home, since the purpose of this mission is simply to open a killing ring, the target's strength is not strong. After Shisui found out the whereabouts of the target, Uchiha Akira did it. After 2 or 3 moves, one move, the Great Fireball technique, killed the target without any difficulty. Looking at the entire original Hokage book, the Great Fireball has a strong momentum, but it doesn't seem to have killed anyone yet. Is this a first for me? Uchiha Akira muttered to himself after killing the target. Back at Konoha village, after submitting the quest, Uchiha Shisui took 10,000 quest gold and handed it over to Uchiha Akira. Teacher, give me all these. You at least took the task and found the whereabouts of the task target, and you have contributed a lot. Uchiha Akira felt ashamed to see that Shisui bosses gave 10,000 taels to him. After all, the difficulty of this task, finding the whereabouts of the target, is the most important, right? For an ordinary person, it is not too important to do it yourself. If that's the case, then it's getting late, you invite me to have a meal. Shisui didn't mean to be pretentious, he thought for a while and said. Of course, since teacher Shisui has said so, I still have to struggle, but I don't want to do it. However, Mr. Shisui didn't want to eat the big dog. He just ordered a few side dishes with Uchiha Akira. After spending about 200 taels, he turned around and left. Teacher, what's the next mission? However, when night fell, when the Uchiha tribe parted ways, Uchiha Akira took the initiative to mention the next mission. Let's talk about it in a week. Uchiha Shisui replied with a slight pause. The first time to kill, although I think Uchiha Akira's performance is a bit strange. However, Shisui still felt that he should be given a week to get used to the change in his mentality. Alright, hearing this, Uchiha Akira nodded silently. I spent 200 taels for the meal, and now I have 10,000 taels on hand. This wave, don't you have a 10 consecutive draws? 1000 sims once, can you simulate 10 times by yourself? It's a pity that this life simulator can only be used once a day, otherwise, if you use all of it that day, it will still feel very cool. When I got home, I met with the old man and talked about the task. Seeing Uchiha Akira's return, Keiko hurried to prepare dinner. No, I ate outside with Shisui-sensei, Uchiha Akira said, stopping Keiko who was going to prepare dinner. Ninja school also starts in September, so now September is summer. At night, Uchiha Akira went back to his room after taking a cool shower. With a huge sum of 10,000 taels in hand, Uchiha Akira's heart is now full of expectations. At the same time, for my own ideas, I also feel that I can try it in the life simulator. Once you've settled on what to do, the simulation begins. In view of your talent, Uchiha executives made Shunjin Shisui your teacher. 3 months later, under Shisui's teaching, you feel that your combat experience and the use of Sharingan have improved a lot. However, looking at teacher Shisui's expression, you suspect that he is not very satisfied with these improvements. After 6 months, maybe because of your slow growth rate, the time to meet Shisui is less and less, but you think it should be the situation in the original book. 8 months later, you meet Shisui and imply that he is careful with Danzo, but Shisui doesn't listen. The next night, you are dead. Looking at the simulation results this time, Uchiha Akira's face was not very good. So, the name of his genius is completely false, and it was revealed in just a few months. In addition, this seems to be the first time that he can't even survive the night of extermination, so he will die, right? The first day implies that Shisui is careful with Danzo, and the second day is dead. It seems that what he said was accidentally overheard by others. This wave only lasted for 8 months, and it seems that he did not learn any more powerful ninjutsu, so Uchiha Akira continued to choose to increase the amount of chakra. In 8 months, my chakra volume has increased by about 20%, which is not bad. With my current chakra amount, this 20% increase is comparable to the 1 or 2 years of penance. The next day, Uchiha Akira simulated his life 5 times in a row. These times, he was mainly testing whether he could use Shisui as a breakthrough to change the situation on the night of the genocide. However, the results are unsatisfactory. Even in these 5 simulations, I have never learned any powerful ninjutsu. All of them have chosen to increase the amount of chakra in these 5 simulations. The increase again and again has made Uchiha Akira's chakra volume increase a lot again. Compared to the stage of the mission with Shisui just now, this chakra is more than doubled again. Forget it, Go Yibo is still developing today. I can't intervene in this night of extermination, even if I want to use teacher Shisui as a breakthrough. This morning, Uchiha Akira opened his eyes again and shook his head secretly. After 6 consecutive simulation failures, Uchiha Akira put the original idea on hold for the time being. Start your 7th life simulation. In view of your talent, Uchiha executives made Shunjin Shisui your teacher. 1 month later, Mr. Shisui was amazed at your chakra volume, and he is actually the best in Genin. Therefore, he taught you lightning-style ground walking and fire-style dragon fire technique to increase your attacking methods. As a medical ninja, Keiko taught you a lot of techniques to control chakra in your spare time at home. 3 months later, you learned to climb trees and tread water, increasing chakra's control. 11 months later, you know that the night of extermination is coming, and you made an excuse to take the old man and Keiko to go out to play in the village, but the old man refused, so you can go with Keiko. 1 year later, you and Keiko learned the news of the night of extermination. Keiko started 3 Tomo Sharingan in grief and anger, and you became the rebels of Konoha village. 2 years later, you have encountered many assassinations, but fortunately, Keiko of Sengoyu helped her and her superb medical ninjutsu saved you from danger. 3 years later, your Uchiha's surviving family and Sharingan are too attractive, and the bounty is as high as 10 million taels, and you happen to meet Kakuzu. Keiko desperately entangled Kakuzu, bought you time to escape, and died in front of you. Witnessing Kiko's death, your Sharingan has evolved. You are dead. This wave of life simulations made Uchiha Akira's heart tremble secretly. On the eve of the night of extermination, the old man refused to leave the village. It seems that he made up his mind to live and die with Uchiha. Unexpectedly, Keiko actually left with him. What's even more unexpected, the news of Uchiha's demise actually made Keiko open the 3-hook jade. Thanks to Kiko's protection, I can live longer. I just didn't expect that I met Kakuzu, a financial fan. A bounty of 10 million taels. To be honest, this bounty Uchiha Akira has the idea of exchanging his head for the bounty. You know, the 3rd Hokage's son, Asuma's bounty is just over 20 million. Of course, the harvest of this life simulation is also huge. In the past 3 years, my ninjutsu and fighting skills have greatly improved. In the same way, in 3 years, his chakra amount must have increased to a very considerable level. However, what caught Uchiha Akira's attention the most was that Sharingan transformed before he died. Ninjutsu skills are good though. The amount of chakra is even better. However, in the face of Sharingan advanced, both can be thrown. People of the Uchiha family, don't play with eyes. It's like going to a streetcar without a sister paper, it's soulless. Perhaps the 2 years of betrayal and forbearance have made him very rich in combat experience, and the increase in the amount of chakra is also very high. However, for the Uchiha clan, playing with the eyes is the main thing. Kun didn't see Obito, who was originally just a crane tail, and witnessed Lin's death, and drove directly from Urgoyu to Mangekyo, suddenly grow into Hokage's behind-the-scenes boss. So, 3 choices, the evolution of Sharingan is the priority. With Sharingan's evolutionary choices, Uchiha Akira could feel a heat flow in his eyes. At the same time, his entire world has changed. Looking intently, even if a fly flaps its wings, he can see clearly. If the eye-opening state of Yigoyu is like watching a movie, the mosaic state has become a Blu-ray HD version. Then, Urgoyu's Sharingan is like a tenfold deceleration. No matter how dazzling things are, you can see them clearly. This is the power of Urgoyu's Sharingan. In this state, it can even copy the opponent's body movements intact. In short, it is to copy other people's physical movements. Moreover, as Sharingan evolved to the state of Urgo Jade, Uchiha Akira could feel that his spiritual power also increased a lot. What is the source of chakra? A mixture of power and spiritual power in physical cells. Now that the spiritual power has risen, naturally, the chakra of Uchiha Akira has also risen with the tide. Sure enough, choosing Sharingan's evolution is the most correct. Feeling the change in himself, Uchiha Akira silently gave himself a compliment in his heart. When I opened my eyes for the first time, I obtained chakra out of thin air. After this Sharingan evolved, chakra also had a great improvement. Sure enough, 10 consecutive draws are powerful. This is only the 7th time, let Sharingan evolve. Earlier, teacher Shisui said to take a week off before going on to other tasks. Don't know what to do next. However, before Uchiha Akira's joy eased from his Sharingan evolution to Urgoyu, suddenly, another line of words appeared in front of Uchiha Akira's eyes. Congratulations on the improvement of the comprehensive strength to Chunin. The consumption amount of the life simulator has increased to 10,000 taels. Uchiha Akira really didn't know whether to be happy or sad about such a reminder. After simulating so many times, chakra has improved so much, and Sharingan has evolved to the state of Urgo Jade, and he has finally entered the threshold of Chunin, which is very gratifying. However, this life simulator has also raised the price again with you. 10,000 taels to simulate once. Another tenfold increase in price. A garbage life simulator. After all, I'm only a genin rank now. How can you judge me as a chunin just because I have reached the level of strength? If my level is calculated based on the ninja level of Konoha village, then that's fine. I'll be a genin all my life, isn't it sweet? In the future, I will simulate once a day. Within a few years, I will simulate more than 1,000 times, or even thousands of times, which is equivalent to practicing for thousands of years. If I go to 10,000 years, I will be able to dominate the ninja world, punch Uchiha Madara, and kick my feet. Kick Otsutsuki Kagaya. It fits the characteristics of the Konoha village ninjas too, right? Jonin fights are pots and pans, genin fights are destruction. Unfortunately, such a bug can't be blocked. Looking at the text prompt in front of him, Uchiha Akira secretly complained in his heart, mainly because the price of the life simulator has increased tenfold, which makes people helpless. After a good sigh of relief, Uchiha Akira got up to take a shower and had breakfast in the restaurant. The old man got up early today and sat opposite Uchiha Akira. By the way, these days, you are resting at home, does Shisui have no new tasks? The old man asked casually in a chatty tone. Since I killed a few days ago, Shisui-sensei let me rest at home for a week, and there should be a new task tomorrow. Uchiha Akira replied. Well, following Shisui, you have to study hard. Although Shisui is young, he can be regarded as the strongest in my Uchiha clan. Afraid that Uchiha Akira would be arrogant because of his genius, the old man followed and warned him. Well, I understand, and my growth is not bad, I should have touched the threshold of Chunin. Nodding, Uchiha Akira showed a humble appearance. Chunin, this is the existence that can become the team leader. You still underestimate Chunin. It's just not long after graduation, and you say that you should have touched the threshold of Chunin. The old man shook his head. However, before the words were finished, the second half of the words were blocked in my mouth. Because, Uchiha Akira revealed his Sharingan. Stunned. Looking at the Sharingan of Urgoyu, his good grandson, the old man was completely stunned. As the great elder of the Uchiha clan, the old man is of course very clear about the existence of Sharingan. 1 Guyu's Sharingan corresponds to Genin, 2 Guyu's Sharingan corresponds to Chunin, and 3 Tomo's Sharingan corresponds to Jonin. Of course, it doesn't mean that the Jonin of the Uchiha family will definitely be able to open the Sharingan of Sangoyu. However, in order to open the Sharingan of Sango Jade, at least the amount of chakra must reach the level of Jonin. In short, Uchiha's Jonin doesn't have to be Sango Jade, or even have Sharingan turned on. However, the owner of 3 Tomo Sharingan must be Jonin's level. In the same way, the status of Ergoyu Sharingan also shows that the other party has the strength of Chunin level. When did Ergo Jade Sharingan open? This is impossible. Looking at Uchiha Akira's Ergoyu Sharingan, the old man said with a look of astonishment on his face. Seeing the surprised look on the old man's face, Uchiha Akira smiled and didn't explain much. Indeed, there is no need to explain. It doesn't matter which day the Ergo Jade Sharingan is opened. The important thing is that at the age of 6, Ergoyu Sharingan was opened. Moreover, this has only been opened for more than a month. Such a situation seems to have never happened before in the history of the Uchiha clan. What's more important is the amount of chakra. More than a month ago, my grandson was an ordinary person who hadn't refined chakra, right? How long has it been? Has the amount of chakra reached the level of Chunin? Even Sharingan is turned on to the state of Ergoyu. Genius, my grandson, genius, super genius. After being shocked, soon, the old man's face could not help showing ecstasy, and he laughed loudly. Keiko next to her also stared at Uchiha Akira in amazement. As Uchiha Akira's maid, Keiko knows that, and has almost never seen how hard Mr. Ming cultivates. But, young Master Ming opened Ergoyu Sharingan in just 1 month. What a genius. That's it. In front of young Master Ming, other geniuses seem to be eclipsed. Keiko knows that although other people have the name of genius, which one is not talent plus hard training. However, young Master Ming seems to be just eating, drinking, and having fun. Grow rapidly. If this can be said, it will make the entire ninja world dumbfounded. Elder, why are you so happy? At this time, a gentle voice rang from outside the door. Immediately after, the figure of Uchiha Shisui walked in from the door. Although the elders have a distinguished status. However, as the strongest person in the Uchiha clan, and now he is the teacher of Uchiha Akira, it is natural to enter this elder's house without any taboos, and there is no need to report. Shisui, you came just in time. Looking at Uchiha Shisui who walked in, the old man looked very enthusiastic. You are worthy of being the strongest in my Uchiha clan. This stinky boy has just grown up with you as his teacher, and the Sharingan has evolved into Ergoyu. State. Ergoyu. Hearing this, Shisui also looked at Uchiha Akira in astonishment. Uchiha Akira also cooperated and showed off his 2-Go Jade Sharingan again. I heard that it's only been more than a month for Minkayan. I really saw Uchiha Akira's Sharingan, Uchiha Shisui also asked in surprise. Yes, it's less than a month and a half. The old man was so happy that his eyes narrowed into slits, he nodded and said. I've heard it for a long time. I opened my eyes before Ming, but I just fell, I thought it was too exaggerated. Shisui looked at Uchiha Akira in shock. Immediately, he nodded again and said, now, I believe it. Yes, ninjas are all occupations of killing, so there is no ninja that is not stained with blood. 7 days ago, I took Uchiha Akira to open a killing ring, but it was similar to a ninja's coming of age ceremony. Although he kindly gave him a week to adjust his mentality. However, he just killed a criminal, which made his Sharingan advance to the state of Ergoyu. It seems that he just fell and opened his eyes. It seems that there is nothing to be surprised about. In addition, the most important thing is, how did his chakra volume increase to the level of Chunin in just over a month? From now on, this stinky boy will bother you Shisui. Looking at Shisui, who is called the strongest Uchiha, he is now shocked by the talent of his eldest grandson. The old man is more like eating honey in his heart, and then said to Uchiha Shisui. Elder, this is what it should be. Uchiha Shisui replied earnestly with a positive expression. While speaking, he glanced at Uchiha Akira in amazement and said, his talent far surpasses mine. Konoha shakes. Yes, with the big speaker of the old man, the news of Uchiha Akira's advancement to Ergoyu Sharingan spread throughout the Uchiha tribe. In more than a month, from an ordinary person, to the state of Urgoyu Sharingan. Such a growth rate is unprecedented in the history of the Uchiha clan. Plus Uchiha Shisui himself admitted that Uchiha Akira's talent is above him. With these words, Uchiha Akira's genius is once again confirmed. Some people even say that Uchiha Akira is the most talented ninja in the history of the Uchiha family. Along with the shock of the Uchiha family, the news naturally spread throughout Konoha village. The high-level executives of Konoha village and many other families were also shocked. Instantly Shisui can be said to be the strongest Uchiha at the moment. This has reached the point where reputation alone can make other ninjas in other ninja villages give up their missions. Comparable to Konoha's White Fang and the original 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato. Instantly taught by Shisui. It took 1 month to open from ordinary people to the status of Urgoyu Sharingan. For a time, everyone understood that this was a stronger Uchiha rookie rising up. Genius, this is a real super genius. In more than a month, Urgoyu actually opened. This is the Fugaku of the Uchiha patriarch, in high spirits. Opening your eyes for the first time may be an exception. But what about the second advanced Urgo Jade? Could it be an exception? Not to mention Shisui's own confession. Is the Uchiha family really rich and genius? They started Urgo Jade when they were only 6 years old. Do they have the power of Chunin? This is the head of the Hyuga clan, sighing from his mouth. First, there were 2 geniuses, Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi, and now there is an even more terrifying talent, Uchiha Akira. Uchiha, this is not a good sign. Under the Hokage building, in the root base, a cold look flashed in Shimura Danzo's eyes. Did that Uchiha child from that day open Urgo Jade again? Hokage building, the 3rd Hokage stood quietly in front of the window, looking at the direction of the Uchiha tribe, and said nothing for a long time. Konoha is known as the cradle of genius, and there have been too many ninjas called geniuses. At first, Uchiha Akira opened his eyes after a fall, and applied for graduation on the day of admission, which indeed attracted a lot of attention. However, in Konoha, there are too many genius ninjas who are not necessarily good when they are young. Just let people pay attention, but don't take it too seriously. However, the strength of the 6-year-old Chunin, or Goyu Sharingan, has a completely different meaning. Coupled with Uchiha Shisui's own admission that Uchiha Akira's talent is higher than him, this adds to the weight of Uchiha Akira's genius again. For a time, Uchiha Akira, a 6-year-old child, was firmly remembered by many high-level figures in Konoha village. Not to mention the reaction of many high-level officials of Konoha to the name of Uchiha Akira's genius. At this time, Uchiha Akira is practicing chakra control. In the life simulator, Uchiha Akira's genius was quickly revealed, so that Uchiha Shisui paid less and less attention to him. But in reality, Uchiha Akira's talent deeply shocked Shisui. So, these days, Uchiha Shisui practices him himself whenever he has free time. First of all, it is to make up for chakra's control. The tree climbing training has been completed, and I am practicing water treading recently. Whether it is taijutsu, ninjutsu, body flicker technique, illusion, etc., chakra's control methods are the top priority and the foundation. As a teacher, Shisui has no desire to hide his secrets at all, and can't wait to teach Uchiha Akira everything he has learned. Under Shisui's high-pressure training, a month has passed in a blink of an eye. Although the amount of chakra and the cultivation of ninjutsu are not much improved in all aspects. However, the control of chakra has improved a lot. For example, a great fireball technique, the same power of ninjutsu, consumes only about 70% of the chakra before. This is how I have grown under the guidance of Shisui in the past month. Ming, you have now completed the training of climbing trees and treading water, and chakra's control is already very good, so I will teach you a new ninjutsu today. On this day, Shisui said to Uchiha Akira. Really? What kind of ninjutsu? Hearing this, Uchiha Akira's eyes lit up and looked at him expectantly. My name in the ninja world is called Shunshi Shisui, so, of course, the best thing is the body flicker technique. Shisui looked at Uchiha Akira and said. This remark made Uchiha Akira happy. The body flicker technique, which almost all Jonins, and even many Chunins, do, is a superb moving technique. But, Uchiha Shisui's body flicker technique, of course, is different. Just like the normal clone technique, Can multiple shadow clones, and even wooden golem clones, be the same? Dizzy and lethargic. Another half a month has passed, and these days, Uchiha Akira is madly practicing the body flicker technique given by Uchiha Shisui. However, in half a month, not only did there not make any progress, but on the contrary, he made himself mentally weak. Body flicker technique. This is a movement technique that almost all jonin and even some chunin can master, making the body move faster in a short period of time. However, Shisui's body flicker technique is completely different. Simply look at the difference between Shisui's body flicker technique and normal body flicker technique. Ordinary body flicker technique is to move faster, and it's over. However, Uchiha Shisui's body flicker technique can play the Kamui function of the cloned version. How to say, a lot of avatars can be separated in one breath, and then, these avatars are all phantoms, but they are all entities. When you attack him, it may be a mere phantom. But when he attacks you, he may be an entity. Isn't that the biggest feature of Obito Kamui? Of course, this trick is powerful, but the more powerful the trick, the harder it is to cultivate. In Shisui's words, in terms of difficulty, this move is an S-level difficulty. First of all, it is necessary to practice the ordinary body flicker technique to an extremely advanced level. Secondly, it is similar to the operation of Flying Thunder God. That is, at a critical time, you can instantly exchange your own body and these clone phantoms to achieve the point where all clones are both entities and phantoms. Finally, the cooperation of Sharingan is also required. This needs to be combined with Sharingan's illusion, and it also needs Sharingan's super dynamic vision to analyze all the magic shadow clone and the situation on the field. So many conditions have been achieved, and then combined, is the core of Uchiha Shisui's body flicker technique. And the effect of this trick is almost a comprehensive version of Kamui and Flying Thunder God. Of course, although the difficulty of cultivation is high, Shisui has achieved the title of Instant Shisui with this trick. Fame has reached the heights of Konoha's White Fang and Golden Glitter, enough to make other ninjas from Ninja Village give up their missions on their own. It can be seen that this trick is great. On this day, it was another whole day of ascetic cultivation, but there was still no clue. The mental state was extremely poor. Uchiha Akira returned to his home, he didn't even take a shower, and he was lying on the bed stinking. Master leads the door. Cultivation is up to the individual, and Shisui taught him how to cultivate. The next step is to rely on Uchiha Akira's own efforts and understanding. No wonder in the original book, Uchiha Itachi is almost unkillable. He can hit you, but if you hit him, maybe his body will turn into a crow and fly around. This trick seems to be very similar to Uchiha Shisui's body flicker technique. The connection between the virtual and the real, with the fusion of Sharingan illusion. However, speaking of which, I have been Shisui's disciple for 2 months. Uchiha Itachi and Shisui are really close as brothers. Teacher Shisui really values the village more than the Uchiha family. These ideas seem to be his words and deeds. Did Uchiha Itachi kill Uchiha's whole family for the sake of the village? However, I'm just an ordinary chunin, and I just touched the threshold of chunin, which makes me learn S-rank ninjutsu. It's like asking a junior high school student who has just been exposed to physics knowledge how to make a circuit board. However, I'm also a fool. It's such a difficult S-rank ninjutsu to learn. Why should you learn it by yourself? Let's hurry up and take a few missions, earn a mission gold, and simulate your life a few times. I am a mediocre talent, and hard work is not suitable for me. Krypton Gold is the king. Lying on the bed, Uchiha Akira's thoughts were a little confused, and after a while, the snoring sounded. At the door, Uchiha Keiko was carrying a pot of hot water, originally wanting to let Uchiha Akira wash his face before having dinner. However, when I walked to the door, I heard a heavy snoring from inside, and immediately turned around and left. Kizi, what about that kid? The food was ready at the dinner table. The old man didn't move his chopsticks, looked at Keiko who came back alone, and asked. Master Ming, he has fallen asleep. It seems that he is really tired recently. Keiko replied. Well, Shisui's body flicker technique is not that easy to learn. These days, it's been hard on him. It seems that I have to find a way to make him happy. Hearing this, the old man said with relief and distress. This sleep was really drowsy. From about 6 o'clock in the evening until 6 o'clock in the next morning, I was still woken up by hunger. However, when Uchiha Akira got up to wash up, Keiko came over with a small suitcase. Master Ming, this is given to you by the first elder. He said that you have been too tired from your practice recently. I want you to relax for 2 days. You should relax in your practice. Keiko opened the suitcase and found stacks of brand new banknotes. Seeing this, Uchiha Akira's eyes lit up. It's 100,000 taels. Old man Mighty Hockey, I love you to death. This is really dozing off and sending a pillow. Before, the good grandson said that he likes money, and he is happy when he has money. And if you are happy, you might be enlightened in practicing ninjutsu. Talked to Shisui. Shisui also said that Uchiha Akira admitted that his hobby is money. Therefore, seeing that the good grandson has worked so hard to practice Shisui's body flicker technique recently, it is not much help, so the old man sent a sum of money directly. Fortunately, although the good grandson likes money, he just likes to save money, not to spend lavishly. Therefore, the old man gave 100,000 taels in one breath this time. For a 6-year-old child, 100,000 taels is definitely a huge sum of money. Last night, I didn't eat dinner, and I didn't take a bath, so after taking a shower, I ate breakfast and took a good bath. Although the school started in September, it is now November. However, the geographical environment of Konoha village is similar to that of Hainan Island. The 4 seasons are like spring, so even in November, the weather is not cold. Lying in the bathtub, Uchiha Akira started life simulation, focusing mainly on the S-level body flicker technique practice. 6-year-old you, Sharingan or Goyu makes your name of genius resound in Konoha village. 8 months later, you practice the S-level body flicker technique, but you just mastered some fur. 9 months later, you found a mission to leave the village, left the village, and avoided the night of extermination. 1 year later, you were killed by Konoha Anbu. This time, the life simulation ended quickly. He had gone out of the village to avoid the night of the genocide, but he was killed after only hiding for 3 months. Shaking his head secretly, he felt that his luck was not very good. Then, Uchiha Akira extracted the results of the body flicker technique that he practiced for a year. In 1 year, it is worthy of the difficulty of S rank, or his talent is too mediocre. In 1 year, it is only a little bit of fur for the master. Shaking his head, holding 10 consecutive pumping thoughts, Uchiha Akira continued to fall into the state of salted fish. Every day is to eat, drink, play, and simulate life once a day, and the days go by. In the second life simulation, I still went out of the village to hide, and this time I brought Keiko with me. Just like before, Keiko has been promoted to the status of Sangoyu, which is an extra helper. However, the luck was not very good. It was still a year and 2 months, I met Kakuzu and died at his hands. Then, for the third simulation, 1 year later, the self who became a rebel was killed. For the 4th time, I was killed 1 year after becoming a betrayal. The 5th time, I was killed by Kakuzu 1 year after becoming a rebel. For the 6th time, my master reached the 3-point essence of body flicker technique, struggled for 3 more months, and was killed. For the 7th time, the body flicker technique master has done a lot and struggled for more than half a year, but I was still killed by Konoha Anbu. 7 draws in a row, at most a year and a half, which made Uchiha Akira know what was going on. In the previous life simulation, when the situation is good, I can live for 2 or 3 years. But now, not long after the night of the genocide, he would be killed, without a single exception. It seems that because of his growing popularity, the senior management of Konoha village have paid more attention to him. So, after the night of extermination, thinking that he was still living outside the village, did he pursue and kill him even more. So, the name of genius in Konoha village is like a double-edged sword. Because of the name of genius, he was accepted as an apprentice by Shisui, and even taught himself the body flicker technique that he is famous for. However, because of its fame, Konoha village paid more attention to itself, and after the night of the genocide, it became more aggressive in chasing and killing itself. It has been half a month since Shisui taught himself the body flicker technique. In the past week, I was working hard, but I couldn't get a master at all. But in the next 7 days, Uchiha Akira is very leisurely, giving people a feeling that he can't learn body flicker technique, so he just gave up. Then, on this day, Uchiha Akira got up early and started his 8th life simulation. 7 times in a row, although chakra has not improved much, the use of ninjutsu, the experience of fighting, especially in the understanding of body flicker technique, it has improved too much. 6-year-old you, Sharingan or Goyu makes your name of genius resound in Konoha village. Body flicker technique master has scored 6 or 7 points, which has greatly improved your overall strength, and has been praised by Shisui. 2 months later, the Kingdom of Thunder will hold the Chunin assessment, 5 ninja villages, each village has only 3 places, you are selected. 3 months later, you successfully advanced to Chunin, spreading the ninja world in the name of genius. 8 months later, you went out of the village on a mission and successfully avoided the night of extermination, and you became a Konoha A-level trader. After 1 year, you have almost mastered Shisui's body flicker technique. A year and a half later, you were besieged by the 3 Anbu Konoha and died of exhaustion. This life simulation surprised Uchiha Akira. First of all, is there a Chunin assessment in 2 months? And it was held at Cloud Shinobi Village in the Land of Thunder. This has never happened in previous life simulations. So, there are only 3 places, so even if the previous self was known as a genius, he was not considered outstanding among genin. So, are you not qualified to go? It looks like it should be. In addition, this life simulation also made Uchiha Akira feel the pervert of Shisui's body flicker technique. In the end, he was besieged by 3 Anbu ninjas and died of exhaustion. In other words, relying on Shisui's body flicker technique, he can actually make the 3 Anbu helpless. If not for the exhaustion of chakra, would you be invincible? You know, those who are eligible to join Anbu are at least elite Chunin. This 8th life simulation, Uchiha Akira still feels quite satisfied. Naturally, this time, I chose the acquisition of ninjutsu again. Then, as if suddenly enlightened, Uchiha Akira figured out the knowledge about body flicker technique and became a master. After 8 simulations, it took about 10 years to be considered a master of this ninjutsu, and it also added 8 years of combat experience. On the surface, Uchiha Akira is still only a 6-year-old child. However, if you really do it, it is an existence with more than 10 years of combat experience. Indeed, this body flicker technique has already become a master, but it took me 10 years to learn an S-level body flicker technique. This is really. Although I have successfully mastered Shisui's body flicker technique, I am very happy. However, thinking of his time, Uchiha Akira shook his head helplessly. Think of Uzumaki Naruto in the original book, master A-level Rasengan in a week. Even, after traveling for 2 years, Big Ball Rasengan and the Spiral Shuriken that also belongs to the S-class have come out. But it took me 10 years. Incredible. As for the existence of Uzumaki Naruto who can learn the A-level multiple shadow clone technique in 1 night, the original work is actually the tale of the 10,000 years crane. Then what are you? With my current money, I can still simulate twice. I have enough ninjutsu and combat experience. Next, the main thing is to get chakra. Of course, if there is a chance to open 3 Tomo Sharingan promotion is the first choice. It's just that, to enable 3 Tomo Sharingan, the basic condition is that the amount of chakra touches the threshold of Jonin, right? It seems that the promotion of chakra is also a long way to go. After taking a good look at his mediocre talent, Uchiha Akira finished his breakfast and was about to go out for a walk. At this time, Shisui is here. Master Shisui. Uchiha Akira greeted modestly and politely. I can teach myself the body flicker technique that I am famous for, and I still respect Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Akira very much. Half a month has passed, what is there to know about body flicker technique? Uchiha Shisui asked directly. Shisui is very clear about the difficulty of learning S-level ninjutsu and his body flicker technique. So, after being stalked for half a month, in Shisui's view, even if he didn't learn it, he must have encountered a problem, right? Just help him solve the problems he encounters. Teacher Shisui, in terms of body flicker technique, I have probably mastered 80 or 90% of the time, but I haven't encountered any major problems. Uchiha Akira replied after hearing Shisui taking the initiative to care about his training progress. Ah, it's already mastered. Hearing Uchiha Akira's answer, Shisui's eyes widened and he looked at him in disbelief. As the developer of this body flicker technique, Shisui deeply understands the difficulty of mastering his own body flicker technique. But, it's only half a month. Uchiha Akira is already a master. Seeing Shisui's surprised look, Uchiha Akira didn't mean to talk nonsense anymore, just started. The hands were sealed, and then, 3 magic shadow clone came out. Immediately afterwards, his deity interchanges positions with these 3 phantom shadow clones at will. Mr. Shisui, my current Sharingan can only control the situation of 3 phantom shadow clones at the same time. After performing a wave of Shisui's body flicker technique, Uchiha Akira followed suit. The Sharingan of Urgoyu is still far worse than Sengoyu in terms of insight. Therefore, this magic shadow clone can only control 3 as the limit. If there is more, you will not be able to control it. Half a month, a mere half a month, you are actually a master. However, although Uchiha Akira's words were modest, Shisui was completely dumbfounded when he saw these illusionary shadow clones that alternate between reality and reality. It will take at least 3 or 5 years for ordinary people to learn this trick from me. At the beginning, it took it more than half a year for the master to incorporate some of the essence into his own ninjutsu, and I was already amazed. But, it's only been half a month, you have become such a master. Shisui was incomparably amazed. Ordinary people need 3 to 5 years. But it took me 10 years. Shisui was amazed at Uchiha Akira's talent, but he didn't know, Uchiha Akira's face was even more broken. When fighting ninjas of the same level, ninjas with the bloodline limit will have a great advantage. And Sharingan is definitely the top bloodline limit in the ninja world. Looking at Uchiha Akira in front of him, the 3 phantom shadow clones, and the Sharingan of Urgoyu, Uchiha Shisui's eyes twinkled. Master Shisui, after spending 10 years in the simulator, I finally learned Shisui's body flicker technique. Shisui will feel shocked, which is reasonable. However, looking at Shisui's expression, it seems that it is not just pure shock, but thinking about other things, which makes Uchiha Akira look at him in surprise. Ming, it's only been over 2 months since you became a genin, right? Shisui suddenly asked when he regained his senses. Yes, indeed, Uchiha Akira nodded. In just over 2 months, you have acquired the strength of Chunin, and even mastered my unique secret technique. With such a talent, it is really hard to estimate your future achievements. Shisui suddenly sighed and said with emotion. Uchiha Akira didn't speak, he could see that Shisui should have something important to say to himself. Otherwise, he wouldn't have expressed so much emotion in his own strength. With your current overall strength, even at the level of Chunin, you are also among the best. I wonder if you want to be promoted to Chunin. Shisui followed suit and asked Uchiha Akira. Hearing Shisui's words, Uchiha Akira's heart moved slightly. Not long ago, the life simulator let Uchiha Akira know that there will be a Chunin assessment in Cloud Shinobi Village in 2 months. It seems that I have mastered the body flicker technique for half a month, which made teacher Shisui think of letting me participate in the assessment, right? If there is a chance, of course I will. Hearing this, Uchiha Akira nodded and said. There is no reason to refuse. After all, the ninja level has been upgraded to Chunin, which means that he can accept more difficult tasks, or even do it alone. In order to make money, you have to upgrade yourself to Chunin as soon as possible. After seeing Uchiha Akira nodded and agreed, Shisui told Uchiha Akira about the assessment of Cloud Shinobi Village Chunin. Generally, major countries hold Chunin assessments for only one purpose, and that is a relatively peaceful means of competition. In this Chunin assessment, if the ninjas sent out by the village perform better, naturally, the village will have more right to speak in the future. It can be regarded as the epitome of competition between villages. Naturally, in this Chunin assessment, the genin sent by each village is the top genin in the village. Originally, although Uchiha Akira's strength was good, he had reached the threshold of Chunin. Coupled with Sharingan's support, he should not be weak at the Chunin level. But going to the Chunin assessment on behalf of Konoha village is a bit worse. But now, in half a month, Uchiha Akira Master has developed his own exclusive secret technique, and Shisui thinks Uchiha Akira can participate on behalf of Konoha village. So, after Uchiha Akira gave a definitive answer, Shisui told him to wait at home, then turned and left. Hokage house. Shisui came to the third Hokage. Shisui, what did you say? Let Uchiha Akira replace the village and go to the Chunin assessment at Cloud Shinobi Village. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Uchiha Shisui in front of him and asked with a look of surprise on his face. Yes, third Hokage-sama. Shisui nodded in affirmation. I know that Uchiha Akira is a genius of the Uchiha clan, and has evolved Sharingan to the state of Ergo Jade, but he is only 6 years old after all, and he has just become a ninja not long ago, and the importance of this Chunin assessment, you are even more important. Understanding is. After Sarutobi Hiruzen was silent for a moment, he still felt incredible. Lord Hokage, are the 3 places to go to Cloud Shinobi Village already set? Shisui asked Sarutobi Hiruzen without any more nonsense. That's right, just yesterday, we've settled on 3 genin places to Cloud Shinobi Village. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded. Although the relationship between the top management of Konoha Village and the Uchiha family is getting more and more tense. But for Uchiha Shisui, a descendant of his old friend Uchiha Kagami, Sarutobi Hiruzen treats it differently. Seeing that Uchiha Shisui insisted on letting Uchiha Akira go, Sarutobi Hiruzen said after a moment of silence, so, let Uchiha Akira pick one and have a showdown. The winner can represent Konoha Village in the Chunin assessment. In the end, he still trusts Shisui's vision. Although he thinks it is incredible, Sarutobi Hiruzen still thinks that he should give him a chance. I accept this, Shisui nodded and said. Afterwards, Sarutobi Hiruzen took out 3 copies of enduring documents from the side and placed them in front of Shisui. After Shisui glanced at it, he turned around and went back to discuss with Uchiha Akira. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.